Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Monday, June 16th, 2025. Huge show today. So much stuff to cover over the weekend. The Zionists are trying to drag us into war with Iran. There were the No Kings protests, which I attended 2 of them. I got out of the car for one, drove by the other. Going to be discussing both of those. Going to be discussing the prophecy narrative that's unfolding. Going to be a big one. Tons of war footage, tons of propaganda with all the usual suspects beating the war drums for us to get in. All the analysis. This show's only made possible thanks to you guys and your support. Your subscriptions for the link down below for that. And there's the Power Chat link pinned to the top of the live chat on Odysee and Rumble. You can go to knowmorenews.org to pick up the shirts. There's a few more shirts available. The Viking Longboat No More News shirt, help get the message out, help spread the green pill. And then the Viking Owl shirt, high quality V-necks, nice and cooler for the summer. Got a big guest on tomorrow. Devin Stack Blackpilled is going to be here. That's 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on Tuesday. Dominic Tripoli's coming on Thursday to discuss Trump and Alex Jones and the war and everything else. So it's going to be a big week. Huge show today. So much stuff to cover with the war unfolding. Start with Trump. Some of Trump's latest statements. He's at the G7. He says that the Iranians want to talk now, but they should have done that before. And then he says Iran is not winning the war.
60 days and they'd like to talk, but they should have done that before. I had 60 days and they had 60 days, and on the 61st day I said, we don't have a deal. They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war. And they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
And what would you say?
So it's reported now that Iran is reaching out to third parties. I think it was Saudi Arabia and some other Arab countries to talk to the White House, saying that they want to negotiate now. Not sure if that's true or if it's going to happen, but we will see.
In your opinion, what would it take for the U.S. to get involved in this conflict militarily?
I don't want to talk about that. They'd like to.
Clearly, if they attack one of our ships, if some of our soldiers die, if a base is attacked, if they're bombing Israel too much, if Israel's losing the war, Israel could nuke them themselves, or America's going to get dragged in. But I think one way or another, America is going to get sucked into this, which would also likely bring in Russia and Iran. So here's another one of the latest statements. He hasn't done an official press conference about the war yet.
To fight it out, but we're going to see what.
President, can you give us a sense of what you're doing to try to de-escalate the situation between Iran and Israel?
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens.
Sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens.
I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal.
He still thinks there's a good chance there's going to be a deal. I'm not so optimistic about that. Pete Hegseth shared Trump's Truth Social post. He says the U.S. had nothing to do with the attack on Iran tonight. If we are attacked in any way, shape, or form by Iran, the full strength and might of the U.S. armed forces will come down on you at levels never seen before. However, we can easily get a deal done between Iran and Israel and end this bloody conflict.
Has absolutely been dragged over the coals in the alt media. What a duplicitous tragedy.
Yeah, all the alt media people that shilled for Trump now are trying to save face.
Time sent $5
Thank
on
you.
Rumble. Get your shekels in, guys. You're here, you love the show, do your bit to keep the lights on. Love you all.
Thank you, Parisia Time. Yes, every dollar helps. The show is only possible thanks to you guys. Oh, Brother B, thank you.
Brother BD sent $5 on Rumble. Any news on what Turkey is up to? They seem to be very quiet. Mouth shut face emoji.
They have been quiet from what I've seen. I saw like Pakistan was threatening Israel, but then they said that was fake news or something. I'm not sure exactly on that. But this is a great invitation for Israel to attack us and blame it on Iran. Remember, there's been all the talk about Iran hacking Trump or trying to assassinate Trump, having all these assassination plots. In fact, Netanyahu, we're going to play the clip later, was on Fox News also saying that they want to assassinate Trump again. Yes, we are sending over aircraft carriers and strike ships and fleets and boats. So those could be attacked by Iran or attacked by Israel and blamed on Iran. But this is a great invitation for, if all Israel knows, all they have to do to drag America in the war is have an attack on America, blame it on Iran. All the incentive there. Trump told Reuters that we knew everything, Trump tells, about the Israel strike on Iran. So we greenlit it. He knew all about it. He knew it was coming. Remember, there was reported also as well that Trump was doing these negotiations with Iran to kind of lull them to sleep. So they thought an attack wasn't happening. Probably some of this rift, these leaks about the rift with him and Netanyahu also, to try to trick Iran into thinking that attack was not about to happen. So Trump claims we had nothing to do with it, although we've been arming them and backing them forever, and said we were sending them weapons right before. The Trump administration quietly sent 300 Hellfire missiles to Israel on Tuesday before its attack against Iran, according to 2 U.S. officials. That's being reported in the Jerusalem Post. This was, I think, Friday night, an emergency Pentagon meeting tonight discussing Israel's request to intervene in the war against Iran. Israel is losing the initiative. So no decision made, at least publicly, on if we're going to join them. They're asking us to, of course, while also claiming that they don't need our help and they'll do it alone and they don't need us. They're still asking us to, of course. Trump also had his parade over the weekend on Saturday and his birthday. The parade was a huge dud. Did you guys see it? I saw empty bleachers. It looked pitiful. It looked pitiful, especially compared to some of the other military parades we've seen in the past and other countries do. It looked awful. It was so bad, so pathetic, says Need More Amalek. It's like, it's also sponsored by all these corporations like Palantir and Coinbase and Raytheon. The parade was a shame. Are they trying to demoralize us? Are they trying to give confidence to Russia and China and Iran? Because if the parade is any indication of our military preparedness, seems like we're in big trouble. The parade did not look good. It was abysmal. It was disgraceful. It was embarrassing. Humiliation ritual, right? That's what it feels like, right? Troggy Trog? Now, remember this old video? Oh my God, 10 likes. I don't know if just nobody's online this morning, but Twitter has been absolutely dead for me this morning. It's been dead probably because the algorithms, all the Christians and Zionists blocking me preemptively, even though I've never interacted with them. It seemed especially dead. But this is a very important clip. Remember Leslie Stahl, the Zionist at CBS, or is it ABC, 60 Minutes, said Israel's plan is to get America to fight the war in Iran for them.
Gone say about that. So, Leslie, there has been a lot of speculation about whether Israel would go it alone, would attack Iran all on its own.
This was years ago, by the way.
What does Mayor Dagan say about that?
Well, he thinks it's a mistake generally to make it an Israeli-Iranian issue. It should be an international issue. Somehow the Saudis should be encouraged to speak up and pressure the United States. And what he really would like to happen is Israel sits back and the Americans do it for the Israelis. It would then be internationalized. He knows that Israel will be attacked, whoever does it, but they'll be attacked less. And what he's most worried about is the retaliation.
Gone say about that.
So I think this is the former head of Mossad said this.
Americans do it for the Israelis.
The Jews want America to attack Iran for them.
Six Gun Rebel sent $5. Always enjoy catching your work exposing the Zionist bullshit. Hail to the king, baby.
Thank you, Six Gun Rebel, for the big super chats. And this is Leslie Stahl, the Zionist that, remember, just recently had on the Mossad agent that said it's all theater. It's all theater, this theater of war that they're going to get us in, so we fight this war for them, so we get dragged into this end times movie of Gog and Magog with war with the West and Edom versus Iran, Russia, and China. And then they end this with wage war by Mossad's motto, wage war by deception.
How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
How did you convince America to buy into the war, get dragged into the war?
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. And the world is our stage.
The world is their stage. 60 Minutes, Mossad, and Leslie Stahl getting us into this end times war. And does anybody think it's a coincidence that Trump has this military parade on the same weekend and Israel attacks Iran the night before? Oh, and by the way, they attacked on June 13th, so 613, like the 613 mitzvahs in Judaism. And even the ADL posted, they said it's been 613 days since October 7th. So these Gematria guys are following a script. They're coding it by the numbers with their Gematria magic. It's not a coincidence. They could have attacked on any day, and they chose 6/13 and the day of
Tales of the
Trump's
Levant
birthday.
sent $5. So much vindication from the No More News crew.
I know.
And for that reason I support. What you do is important.
Dude, guys, if you can, I know some of the guys that do the clips do this. Go back and watch some of my old videos and debates and stuff. I've been talking about Trump getting back into office, all the left going crazy with protests that he's a dictator and a king and the new Hitler and a fascist.
The Ghost of Eldon sent $5.
That just happened
on
this
Rumble.
weekend too.
Happy Monday, Adam.
Thank you.
As a 25-year-old, I feel like a draft is impossible. All my friends are hardcore anti-Israel. I even told my bro about the Edom prophecies before he went to Navy SEAL training.
Yeah, I'm not worried about a draft, honestly. It's going to be fought with missiles and Air Force and advanced weapons. That it's not going to be boots on the ground fighting in trench warfare. I don't think that's a concern. But think of how crazy the predictions have been for years. I called how Trump's going to get back in the exact fashion he did. He's going to be ultra Zionist. He's going to get us in a war with Iran. The left is going to be going crazy with all of their he's Hitler and he's a Nazi and dictator, fascist. He's the king. And there was the no king protest, and it's all coming to fruition this weekend. Been too on point. Here's Bill Ackman, Jewish billionaire and Trump backer, says the parade was great. Yeah, the parade is for military recruitment. Although I don't know who's going to recruit after they saw that. That's why they got Hegseth in, the hoorah military guy, the Third Temple cultist. They're getting the woke out of the military so they can get recruitment up so people can go die for a war for Israel. Bill Ackman, the Jewish billionaire, says the parade was great. No, it wasn't. Our military is incredible, and now Israel needs our help to destroy Iran's nuclear threat to the world. Can it get any more obvious? Does it get any more obvious than this, guys? Jewish billionaire says, hey, Goy, I hope you like your parade. Now go fight a war for Israel. Can it not get any more obvious? Israel's military and air force have sufficiently degraded Iran's defenses such that this is now the lowest risk, highest probability moment to take out Iran's nuclear capability, a grave threat to us all. They're just like poking us, go to war, go to war, go to war, knowing that this is going to escalate with Russia and China. We should not let this opportunity pass. Never let an opportunity go to waste. But Israel and all the Zionist agents are all over the mainstream media right now, in social media, pushing for us to get into this war. We should not let this opportunity pass, but Israel does not have the equipment and armaments to complete the job. We
Onyx
do.
Rock sent $5
Thank
support
you, Onyx
ties.
Rock.
With love.
Thank you so much, guys. Equipment and armaments to complete the job. We do, and it does not require boots on the ground. This war Israel has been fighting has been on behalf of all of us. That talking point is so bullshit. Iran would be no threat to us if it wasn't for us enabling Israel and what they're doing in Gaza. Let's help them finish the job, he says.
What an idiot.
31,000 likes.
What an idiot. Oh, what a loser!
And then when we say it's a bunch of Jews trying to get us in another war, they'll say that's anti-Semitic. It's anti-Semitic not to want to go to war with Iran, which that's what they're all saying right now. And I tweeted this back in 2019 when Trump was still in the first time. There it is. Look at this. It's happening. I said in 2019, the Zionist will soon call anyone who opposes the upcoming war with Iran anti-Semitic. Wait for it. And all the Trump shills said, he's gonna save us from World War III. He started no new wars. He's playing 4D chess against Netanyahu, and look how everything turned out. If only you guys would have listened. This is Trump's war. Stop moving the goalposts saying, well, he's not having boots on the ground, or he's not involved in this. Like, give me a fucking break. This is Trump's war. And actually, I found an old Fox News clip from 2015. Donald Trump, before he even announced he was going to run for president, where he's talking about Iran can't have a nuke. He was selected, and then he says, when we got to make America great again. He was selected and chosen by the Zionists to lead us into this war with Iran before he even got into office in 2016. This is Trump's war, and it does not end with Iran. Israel's war against Iran will last weeks, not days, and has been implicitly approved by the Trump administration. White House and Israeli officials confirmed to CNN, as reported by CNN. The USS Nimitz carrier strike group sailing towards the Middle East ahead of schedule, U.S. official tells. Iranian strikes on Israel escalate, killing at least 24 and damaging U.S. embassy. Netanyahu on Fox News. Remember the same Netanyahu that lied us into the war on terror with Iraq. In front of Congress and all over the news, he goes, I promise you, it'll stabilize the Middle East. Everybody will be better. To go get those WMDs. He lied about that, and he's about to lie us into another war and drag us into Gog and Magog, like when he went and met the rabbi of Chabad, the Rebbe of Chabad, and he says, do more, you must hasten Moshiach, which means destroy Edom in an end times war. And the tech dominance that they're having with Israel as well. The rise in anti-Semitism, according to the plan.
I want to talk about the nuclear threat, and I want to talk about President Trump. You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one.
See, this is part of their war propaganda. He's enemy number one. No, I'm pretty sure you and the Zionists are enemy number one. I mean, Trump's a Zionist too. But let's get real. All of this, hey, it's you. They are such liars. Netanyahu,
You sit on a throne of lies.
And why is he looking so pasty and ghosty and deathly right now in this? He looks like Emperor Palpatine aura.
Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one. He's a decisive leader. He never took the path that others took to try to bargain with him in a way that is weak, giving them giving them basically a pathway to enrich uranium, which means a pathway to the bomb, padding it.
If Trump, for like just say hypothetically, if Trump were to not support Israel in this war, they would kill him. You know they would. He's turning into Golem, right, Ghost Notes?
With billions and billions of dollars. He took up this fake agreement and basically tore it up. He killed Qasem Soleimani. He said, made it very clear, including now, you cannot have a nuclear weapon, which means you cannot enrich. He's been very forceful. So for them, he's enemy number one.
Yeah.
Look, they also tried to kill me, but I'm his junior partner.
When did
they
you
understand that President Trump is a great threat to Iran's plans to weaponize nuclear weapons?
See, this is just fear-mongering propaganda to get all of MAGA to get on board with this war with Iran. Clearly, we see right through you, Netanyahu. We know your tricks.
Use them.
When did you tell President Trump you were going to launch these strikes?
Look, I've been in constant contact with President Trump. We've known each other for many years. And obviously, we informed our American friends and President Trump, our great friend, ahead of time. We did. He knew about it, of course.
I mean, there were reports that President Trump kind of helped you achieve your strategic surprise by publicly urging you not to attack when he already knew you had decided to do it. So you were closely coordinated.
Yeah, Trump's playing 4D chess all right against all his MAGA base, all the dupes of America. He's lying to the world for the Jews.
With the U.S. throughout this process.
Look, we're fully coordinated, but understand that America, under President Trump, will make the decisions that are best for America. And that's the way it is. He understands that I, as the Prime Minister of Israel, the one and only Jewish state.
Fully coordinated. Remember Trump tweeted out from the White House Twitter a couple weeks ago, he goes, they're completely aligned. They agree on everything.
Must make the decisions that are important for the survival of my country, and he will do what is best for America. That is a relationship of mutual respect and mutual confidence.
Now here's some of the war footage, some of the bombs. This is reportedly outside of Tehran. Installations underneath the area, caves in the mountain possibly. Let's see some of these. Now, this looks like it's bombs from
Schopenhauer
underneath.
Black Pill sent $3 Adam. Those are Talmuds behind Netanyahu.
Talmuds, yeah. I know. Yep. But then we have all these shills online that go, they're a secular state. They're atheists. They're not even real Jews. That's the shit. That's the cover that all these controlled op run for them. So it looks like they're blowing these up from the inside. We're going to play another clip. They found some huge building that had it was like a drone, explosive drone making operation by Mossad spies. There's Mossad spies all throughout Iran, apparently. And this might have been insiders and traders in Iran blowing up their military installations from inside. Because I didn't see any missiles come crashing down. Is that it? Okie doke. Now, this is just breaking news a few hours ago. Iranian state TV is hit live on air. And there's some video from the outside, too, of it on fire.
صدای متجاوز به خاک وطن، صدای متجاوز به صدای حق و حقیقت است. آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استودیو.
I'm surprised they even allow women to be the top newscasters. That's how they got to get the men to listen. They got to put the women up there. Isn't that kind of weird? Laura Loomer's laughing as if it's fake. Oh no, look how quickly we went from brave to coward in seconds. Dude, these Israelis and Zionists are so hypocritical. So here's the video released of this is their the building with their Iranian state TV on fire. I don't think they're going to put that one out. Okay. Incredible footage captures blistering speed of an Iranian ballistic missile. So I read about how their strategy is to send a bunch of slower rockets and missiles, and then the Iron Dome focuses on those, and then the hypersonic ballistic missile comes in and breaks through the defenses. So that's what we're going to see here. So much bigger and faster. Look at that again. No shockwave on that one. I saw other videos the other day with, oh, look at that. Christ is king. Yeah, the magical Jew is going to come down and save us. Christ is king. As if Christ being king and these Christians hasn't gotten us to where we're at right now. Yeah, more Jewish fairy tales. That's going to save us from the Jewish religions.
You recently
Thank you.
said that allying with commies during doesn't make America communist. I think that America allying with the USSR and funding its industrialization, change history, and modern surge of leftism is a direct consequence of it.
Yeah, sure. I agree. Bad move. That was a bad move. Here's another one. Another angle. Iranian hypersonic missile slamming down with lightning force. I wonder how many of these they have. And why are we not seeing way more of them? Why has there not been like 50 of these hitting every single site in Israel? And how long before the Dome of the Rock gets hit or the Wailing Wall or something like that? So the same thing, a bunch of slower ones. Dude, the hypersonic ballistic is so much faster than the other ones. So they're just like decoys.
The names sent $5 on Rumble. Johnny Gack did a documentary about Iran essentially being a paper tiger appearing to be an enemy of Israel but really allowing them to gain influence with their Mr. Arvim agents in the government.
Yeah, actually, when I was searching through my computer for Iran stuff this morning, I saw that. I have that downloaded. I'm going to have to rewatch it. I don't remember what's in it. But Islam is theological controlled opposition, just like Christianity is, like, by definition, theological Abrahamic controlled opposition. So they have these prophecies where they can't attack Iran all the way. They can't have their end times war until their Mahdi, until their Jesus returns to defeat the Antichrist. So yes, through the religion, even if it's more than that, if it's Mossad, I've heard theories about like the leaders, the Ayatollahs that are secretly working for the Jews or crypto Jews. I don't know about all that, but at the bare minimum, I do know Islam and Christianity are theological controlled oppositions to Judaism. Okay, let's hear another one, different angle. This one, let's see. Yeah, that one looked like it was just like the others, and then it just like went into extra boost.
Said these are hypersonic missiles. I'm not convinced. They simply look like standard supersonic ballistic missiles on terminal phase. They seem fast because of the camera position and proximity. Iran supposedly does have them.
Yeah, well, makes sense because you can see the one that goes way faster goes slow like all the rest here. I think it's this one, and then it just kicks into high gear. Whole building gone. How many more attacks is Israel going to sustain before they decide to shoot a nuke at Iran? That's my question. Iranians blasted the Israeli Pentagon? Yeah, they should. Is that why are they not targeting that all-seeing eye pyramid funded by the Rothschilds at the Knesset? Good question. Nablus city, so that's in the West Bank. Nablus city, mass celebrations at the moment Iranian missiles reach the occupied territories. Looks like Megatron and the Transformers coming down to Earth. I had a funny thought. If Jesus wasn't a complete fairy tale, imagine the apocalypse and the second coming, and Jesus comes floating down from the clouds with his blood-dripping robe and his sword on his white horse, and then the Iron Dome blows him up. Yo, thank you, namesake.
The names sent $5 on Rumble. Many of the early mullahs who helped overthrow the Shah went to multicultural training centers run by the KGB in Russia.
That's right.
They may be controlled off Islamo-communists just like the pro-Palestine
too.
leftist.
PLO in Palestine, and I'm forgetting his name right now. Yasser Arafat.
333 sent $5. Trump is making Netanyahu look bad by giving him the green light to attack Iran, and then Jesus is going to come back and mediate a deal with the U.S. and Iran, and then Netanyahu will go down to hell, while the U.S.-Iran deal is signed in heaven.
That sounds like some Christian Q-tard analysis. I assume you're joking, right? That's got to be a joke. No follower of my show is going to honestly think that. I just saw. Okay, hold on.
Asylum8 sent $5 on Rumble. Jesus floats down and catches the nukes, swallows them at Asylum8.
Yeah, what movie is that where they like swallow the bomb and then it? Is that the genie or Superman or something? He puts the bomb in his mouth and it blows up and he saves everybody. Yeah, that's very likely. That's realistic, right? I see Netanyahu is angry at Americans for not wanting to go to war for him. Look, here's the quote to ABC News. Look, I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. Come on, like we're going to be dead. How stupid does he think we are? Pretty dumb, given how much he's gotten away with so far. Today, it's Tel Aviv. Tomorrow, it's New York. Look, I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. Is this the video of that? Okay, we'll play that in a second. I'll get that pulled up. So here's some more. Here's some massive Iranian launches. That's why America First is trending, huh? Because he said that.
And America dead.
What kind of threat is that, by the way? America, you're going to be dead. They're going to bring us down with them if we don't go fight this war for them that they started. Now he's threatening us. Let's play that.
That's what these people want. They say it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. That's what these people want. They chant death to America. So we're doing something that is in the service of mankind, of humanity.
Dude, they can't reach us.
Of good against evil. America should and does stand with the good. That's what President Trump is doing, and I deeply appreciate his support.
John Carl joins me now. So, John, what else did he say about President Trump and how he wants the U.S. to play a role here, or did he?
Well, I love how they were talking a big game, like, we don't need you. We can protect ourselves by ourselves. They decided to do this war without our involvement, and now it's been 3 days, and they're begging for us to come in and save them and threatening us. Israeli cabinet member Gila Gamliel says, we categorically demand that the United States join the war against Iran. So if we won't do it, they'll claim we betrayed them, we abandoned them, we're anti-Semitic. And they'll assassinate Trump if they have to. They'll attack us and blame it on Iran if they have to. And everybody knows it. And everybody knows it.
Well, look, he praised President Trump over and over again in this interview. He knows that he needs the United States support, at least in terms of doing what the U.S. is doing now, which is helping Israel defend itself from those.
Shopping. Black Pill sent $3 at him. You know Israel is gone. Had us bases to false flag us into the war. They are just gonna hit the dome of the rock and take out the Ayatollah. The mullahs are Mizrachi Jews. The Ayatollah looks like a used carpet salesman.
Yep. I agree. They're very likely going to attack us. That's the next step. And they will do it. Wage war by deception. You don't think they would do that? Of course, everybody knows everybody already knows that that's been the game plan too.
Retaliatory attacks from Iran. So it was all couched in a thank you, President Trump. You've been Israel's best friend, but he made it clear that he would like to see more. He didn't come out and directly say it in those ways, but what you heard, what you played right there, I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. He is really speaking to those in the Trump movement, those in the MAGA movement.
Dude, we're going to be dead if we get in this war. If we get in World War III, that's how we're going to be dead. This is your problem.
Who are adamantly opposed to the United States getting involved in another Middle East conflict. And as you know...
does he really think we're so dumb that we think Iran is going to blow up all of America? Give me a break.
Here, there are some prominent voices, supporters, outside advisors of Donald Trump who are saying, don't get involved. The United States can't be involved. You campaigned against forever war.
We're already involved.
Carlson, Steve Bannon.
There's no sitting out of this.
Those are, close supporters of Donald Trump who are saying that they don't think the United States should be involved in this. And Netanyahu, it seemed to me, by using their language, I understand America first, I don't understand America dead, was speaking directly to Donald Trump and to his supporters who are critical of what Israel is doing.
Unbelievable.
You're up to something over there.
Actually, completely believable. Completely believable. Actually, it's to be expected that we would get this. Here's Israel has struck the Shana oil refinery in Tehran. How can they blame Iran for hitting the Dome of the Rock? When we're seeing missiles flying in the air, we don't know where they come from. They're just little glowing lights. Nobody knows where they won't be able to prove where it came from. Oh, well, Israel will investigate it and they'll say it was an Iranian bomb. Or they'll probably just have an Iranian bomb and they'll shoot it off and say, look, it's theirs. They have so many ways of dragging us into this war. So this is a fake video, Syrian girl. 14,000 likes. Generated by Google AI, apparently. So, look a little closer, though. Look at how it collapses right here. Dude. Looks like a scene out of the apocalypse, but she's saying this is it. This is the building that collapsed. It's kind of funny. They're like trolling and they're doing images of like planes and bombs underneath all these buildings, like the Israelis do, to justify attacking whatever. They're like, oh, they had all of this missiles and airplanes were hiding inside these buildings, so it's justified. Or they're also trolling, saying that the Jews are using human shields, so it's justified. Iranian intelligence forces discover a 3-story building run by Mossad in the south of Tehran, fully stocked with explosives and drones.
کوچکی از این پهپادها رو ما تونستیم بیاریم جمع کنیم از هدایتگرها، موتورهاشون، بالهای پهپادها و
So I heard that some drones like this attacked Iran's defense systems.
333 sent $5. Mainstream media is a movie. These missile videos are Trump busted Netanyahu and Putin is keeping him locked up in Siberia along with Biden and the Democrats.
I don't think it's all fake.
So
this is how, before the attack, they disabled some of their systems, defense systems, and that's why nothing was getting shot down on the first night when Israel attacked.
باید افسران تخصصی درباره اون نظر بدن موجود اینجا و جعبه هایی که در نهایت بسته‌بندی می‌شده. اینجا یه کارگاه کامله دیگه. الان اینجا درسته جام سنی
تو 3 طبقه ما دقیقاً این اموال رو تو طبقات پایین هم داریم که تعداد قابل زیادی از این بالای
Okay, we get so under the sent $3. Trump has already committed open treason by directly involving us in this war. He directly confessed. All else is Jewish press lies.
Yeah, I know. The whole, like, we're not in it shtick. Nobody's buying that. You think Iran's like, oh, you're not involved? Okay, yeah, we won't attack you. Sure. So, go ahead. You do think they're going to have the draft? I don't think so. They won't need the draft. They're not going to have us go fight on foot over there. They're going to just, if anything, drag us into World War III and hit us with EMPs and biological weapons and nukes. That's how it'll go down. Not trench warfare and boots on the ground. They're not trying to occupy building to building in Iran. So here's Vance. Here's Vance at the military parade says, "We never ask you to go to war unless you absolutely have to." A few moments later, you absolutely have to go to war for Israel. That's what we're going to see.
Respect you. And so to our soldiers, we're so proud of you. And let me tell you that the way that we honor and respect you is, number one, we never ask you to go to war unless you absolutely have to.
And you absolutely have to save Israel against the evil Iran that calls us the great Satan and tried to assassinate Trump and attacked us in this false flag attack somewhere in America or overseas. Why are you saying mute? I'm not on mute.
Number two, when we do ask you to go to war, we give you the weapons and the support needed to kick the hell out of the enemy and come back home safely.
Yeah. Somebody needs to do him saying we don't ask you to go to war and then do the meme from, I think it's SpongeBob, a few moments later, and then time to go to war against Iran.
Optics Prime sent $5 on Rumble. The Jews want Edom dead.
Yeah, it's almost like we're the ultimate target of all of this. They don't really want to get Iran. They just want to get us dragged into Gog and Magog where we get destroyed. That's the ultimate goal. We've seen all the rabbis fantasizing about the destruction of Edom. They're more bloodthirsty for Edom than they even are Iran, from what I've seen. The Zionists will soon call anyone who opposes the upcoming war with Iran anti-Semitic. Wait for it. I said that in 2019, and you don't have to wait any longer because they're doing it now. Israel is defending freedom in the Middle East and beyond. Sure.
Donald J.
Sure.
I want to start by wishing...
You're all for defending our freedom while you make BDS laws so we can't protest, while you come for our free speech.
Double happy birthday. First, happy birthday to you, President Donald J. Trump. You've been an extraordinary leader. Decisive, courageous, clear vision, clear action.
Decisive. Be decisive, Trump. Be decisive and back Israel. That's what he's getting at.
You have done great things for Israel. You've been an extraordinary friend to the Jewish state and to me personally. We've known each other for many years, and we appreciate what you're doing now, helping protect Israeli lives against the criminal regime in Iran. I want to wish also a 250th happy birthday to the American Army. The men and women of the armed services of the United States have
my Shabbos Goy Christian Army.
Centuries. We would not have
my foot soldiers
without you.
He should quote right now, "And Esau shall serve his brother and live by the sword and serve Jacob." He should just cite the verse of his American Christian Zionist military. That's the verse They call us Esau, Edom. Esau shall live by the sword and serve his brother, Jacob, the Jews.
Thank you on behalf of free peoples everywhere. Today, Israel is defending freedom in the Middle East and beyond. We're doing so against a tyrannical and radical Iranian regime that wants to build atomic bombs to destroy us and wants to build ballistic missiles, including
10
intercontinental.
Baba Mamas sent $5 on Rumble. That was an American girl with the big tits running. The sirens were edited and she was at a country concert.
Yeah, I know. I saw that viral video. That's Israel's best Hasbara propaganda, is showing girls with big boobs. And the sad thing is they couldn't even get an Israeli girl with big boobs to run for their propaganda. But they know what they're doing with the bouncing boobies.
To be able to threaten anyone and everywhere in the world. By defending ourselves, we're also defending others. We're defending our Arab neighbors, our Arab friends in peace.
Dude, we're defending you. Stop lying.
We're helping defend also the United States, which helps us all the time.
Iran would not be attacking anybody if it weren't you doing this preemptive attack you just did and the slaughtering and the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. Come on, dude. How can you get away with all of these lies?
You sit on a throne of lies.
In our defense. This is an important mission. Right now, the Iranian regime is bombing our civilian neighborhoods while we are targeting the terrorists. Now, this is not new. They've tried to assassinate President Trump twice.
Oh, really?
They bombed American embassies. They killed 241 Marines in Beirut.
That was literally in 1982. We're going back 45 years. 42 years. Refresh, guys. I don't know. I hope we're not down on Rumble. Are we down on Rumble? I think Rumble's still good.
They killed and injured thousands of Americans with it.
And that wasn't even claiming that's Iran. That was a bomb in Beirut, right?
IED.
Just trying to blame anything and everything on Iran.
They burn the American flag. They chant endlessly, death to America.
Yeah, because of you.
Is your enemy.
Because of you.
What we're doing, we're dealing with something that will threaten all of us sooner or later. Our victory will be your victory.
Remember when Zelensky in the Oval Office tried to say the same thing, use the same argument, like, well, I'm at war with Putin now, but Putin is a threat to you too. And Trump was like, don't tell us who is a threat. Don't tell us who we should be worried about. Where's that attitude for Netanyahu? They've been doing this shtick, giving us this spiel for over 30 years.
To achieve that victory. Well, we've already done great things. We've taken out their senior military leadership. We've taken out their senior technologists who are leading the race to build atomic weapons that would threaten us, but not only us. We've done all that and many other things, but we are also aware of the fact that there's more to be done. So we're preparing. We paved the way to Tehran, and our pilots over the skies of Tehran will deal blows to the Ayatollah regime that they cannot even imagine. And I can tell you this, we have indications that senior leaders in Iran are already packing their bags. They sense what's coming. I'll tell you what would have come if we hadn't acted. We had information that this unscrupulous regime...
John Derriam sent $3 there. It's literally an episode of Star Trek there, The Dove, where an alien force comes on a ship and thrives on making the humans and Klingons fight each other to death. Perfect allegory for the international Jews. A somewhat Jewish show.
Day of the Dove. There's like a thing about a turtle dove in the Gaona Vilna prophecies also. Yeah, we know the script. We've seen this movie.
To give the nuclear weapons that they would develop to their terrorist proxies. That's nuclear terrorism on steroids. That would threaten the entire world. This is what...
Dude, you're a threat to the entire world with your stolen nukes. They're so hypocritical.
Israel is doing with the support, the clear support of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and the American people, and many others in the world. So with God's help, and with the goodwill and resolution of all free societies, we shall win.
With God's help, we shall win. General Flynn, all the shills that are supporting Flynn, Of course, I told you all along he's a neocon. He co-wrote a book about war on Islam, war on terror, with Michael Ledeen, one of the top Jewish neocons. Flynn, Alex Jones's best bud, General Flynn. General Flynn, the Reawaken America tour and all the QAnon Zionist prophet shills. The Putin Russia shill, Mike Flynn. Of course, he's pushing for us to go into war with Iran. He says, like it or not, this is the reality of what Israel and the world would face if Iran became a nuclear regime. The world is blessed. This doesn't mean the world is at peace. Far from it. War is never a good thing, but sometimes it is a necessary thing. In a world filled with sinful leaders, war is inevitable. Sometimes the only way to keep sinful from doing great harm to the innocent is by going to war. Hey, Trump, listen to your faith leaders. Listen to the Jews and the Christian Zionists. Listen to the rabbis. And he has Romans 3:10-18. I wonder what he's doing there. Hey, great, a Bible verse to get us to justify war. $5,700 likes. From the shill Flynn, who I've been exposing since the get-go. But Alex Jones told you he's a patriot, General Flynn. No, he's a fucking Zionist neocon. All right. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have opened that link. It always freezes up. Okay, there we go. Now, so here's a video of Shmuley saying America must get involved to protect this war. Everybody's sharing this clip. It's only 8 seconds long. It's at 460,000 views.
$5 on Rumble. Star Trek is so Jewish, but I love it. Have you seen Adam? Definitely some esoteric knowledge like the feud between Vulcans, Yahweh volcano god, and Romulans, Romans.
Sounds about right to me. I saw there was a clip going around by like the creator of Star Wars the other day. I meant to watch it. I had it bookmarked, but then the war broke out. He said something anti-white or something like that. Did anybody see that clip of the Star Wars guy saying something? Maybe if you guys can find that, link it to me in the chat. I want to watch that. But so here's Shmuley, the viral video, 8 seconds of him saying America needs to fight this war. And then he says, God bless the United States of Israel. But all of these Christian accounts edited out, cut off the rest of the clip where he's appealing to the Christians and the Muslims because of their religion and how they all worship the same God of the Torah.
Pray for the destruction.
So here's the full clip. Actually, let's play the shorter clip first.
United States must get involved in this fight in order to protect the United States. God bless America. God bless the United States of Israel. God bless every innocent person.
United States of Israel. Very sneaky to crop out the rest of the context of how he's appealing to all of the religious people, their greatest allies, their greatest useful idiots.
Are not living in Israel. Many of our children are, so they're under this direct rocket fire. But the God of Israel and the God of Christians and the God of Muslims, the righteous Muslims, he is everywhere and he listens to prayer. Pray for the destruction of the Iranian regime. Pray for the destruction of the Iranian centrifuges. Pray for the destruction of the entire Iranian mullah leadership, not the people of Iran who suffer under.
Pray for the destruction of Edom. Funny how they leave that part out, which is so instrumental to end times Judaism. AG, did you see Blackpilled stream about the end times prophecy? Yes, I did. I was watching it last night, and he's coming on tomorrow. We're going to talk about that and more.
Their tyranny. Pray for Israel. It has almost never felt and faced a barrage like this. We need you to pray. Israel has taken the dramatic step that had to be taken. If Israel did not do what Netanyahu bravely did last night, finally attack after almost 20 years, the Iranian nuclear facilities, we face a second Holocaust, God forbid. I am a student of the first Holocaust. You know that I've taken you to 200-300 Holocaust sites over the years. I've written the book Holocaust Holiday. I took my children there. I've been to Auschwitz-Birkenau countless times. I was just in Belzec. I showed you all these places. It can never happen again. Pray for Israel. This is going to be a very difficult Shabbat. I'm asking you all to pray for the safety of my children, all the soldiers of the IDF, including my children, and all the people of Israel. And remember one thing, Iran has killed thousands upon thousands of American soldiers, American Marines, blew them up in Beirut, if you remember that, 258, 1980.
If you remember that, over 40 years ago, one bomb went off, and it was probably Hezbollah, or also, actually, people think that was Mossad. People think that was a Mossad false flag, actually, because they were trying to get us into a war back then, too. That's the best you got, is a proxy attacked America on a base 40 years ago, so now we have to go get in World War III?
And Reagan did nothing. Even the great Ronald Reagan, the strong Ronald, did nothing. 5,000 American soldiers killed in Iran, killed in Iraq, mostly by Iranian proxies. Thousands and thousands of soldiers killed in Afghanistan.
Wasn't Iraq and Iran like enemies? So now he's trying to blame any of our illegal invasion of Iraq over fake WMDs that the Zionists lied us into. So we go there and try to occupy their country. Some of our soldiers get killed, and now he's blaming Iran. Dude, these guys are just lying about everything.
Argentina, the bombing of the embassy there. I could go on how many Americans were killed. Remember, all of this started when Iran took our hostages in our embassy in Tehran. Nothing to do with Israel back then. The United States must get involved in this fight in order to protect the United States. God bless America. God bless the United States of Israel. God bless every innocent person. Our United States. God bless America. God bless the United States of Israel. God bless
the United States of Israel. Dude, the gaslighting that they're defending us and that we're the real enemy and that we'll be destroyed if we don't support them in a war. Only the dumbest, most gullible goy are going to fall for that shit. But when Fox News and all the big conservative influencers are all regurgitating it nonstop, sadly, Americans fall for it. But I don't think this is going to work. They're going to have an attack. They're going to need a big attack. They're going to need a 9/11 style attack to actually get us in here, I think. Glenn Beck, with his war propaganda, why we must go to war as well.
Has Israel asked us to fight their war? Answer, no. Is this another Iraq?
Has Israel asked us to fight their war? Yes. Answer, yes. Right out of the gates with such a bold-faced lie from the Netanyahu gave him an award, the Defender of Zion award. He did his little love letter and prayer and asked about how much he was glazing and groveling to Netanyahu after October 7th and how he wanted Israeli citizenship and how because he's a Christian, he just feels chosen by God to defend the Jew. And he said it that way, the Jew.
Has Israel asked us to fight their war? Answer,
yes.
No.
Yes.
Is this another Iraq? Or is it something entirely different? Well,
It's another Iraq, only worse. It's going to be worse of a disaster than Iraq. How can he get up here and lie and say, do they want us to fight their war? Yeah, they're already asking us that.
It would then be internationalized. He knows that
Chris Johnston sent $10 THX for all your hard work, man. Keep it up.
Thank you, Chris.
Generally, to make it an Israeli-Iranian issue. It should be an international issue. Somehow the Saudis should be encouraged to speak up and pressure the United States. And what he really would like to happen is Israel sits back and the Americans do it for the Israelis.
That's what they really want. And all of these Israeli or Zionist traitors are going to lie us into World War III for the Jews.
Let me tell you what makes this moment unlike anything else we have faced before. First, this was not a call to war. This was not a land invasion. This is not a campaign to topple a regime and then sit around for 20 years trying to rebuild a culture that doesn't want.
Yes, it is. Oh, no, yeah, it's not going to destabilize Iran if we have a regime change in there. Oh, it won't be like Iraq. It'll be way better this time. Trust me, bro. Just like Netanyahu was wrong about Iraq. Trust me, bro.
Invasion.
And then what is it? It's not a ground invasion. What are you guys so worried about? What are you so worried about, Goyim? It's not a ground invasion. There's no troops on the ground, as if that makes it any better. That's not how wars are going to be fought in this day and age anyway. They're going to be fought from space. They're going to be fought with advanced weapons. He's such a fucking liar. They all are. We're about to ready to see All the big Zio influencers in their lives right now.
This is not a campaign to topple a regime and then sit around for 20 years trying to rebuild a culture that doesn't want what we have. Even though Iran, the Iranian people are good people, the Persians are great people, and they do want a life like ours. But this was targeted. This was surgical. This was preemptive. Not against an idea, not against a guess, against the very real, very stated in.
He's reading all of this probably straight from the teleprompter from Tel Aviv. Look at him. He's not, this isn't off the top of his head. He's writing a statement, and I doubt he even wrote it. Adam, they need our heavy-duty bunker busters for Iranian underground nuke facilities. Yeah, I saw them asking for those.
Intentions of a regime run by men who do not think like we think, okay? They do not want what we want. We choose life. They literally choose death.
Yeah, they're just a death cult. They're just psychopaths. They just want to get a nuke and just blow up the whole world. The lies that they make up about these people are insane.
That is as clear as it is. Do you choose life or do you choose death? That is
never anything about the Samson option or the Jews and how they think about Edom, the reality of the situation. You'll never get any of that. All the Hasbara bullshit disinfo.
It is a culture of death. So I want to start with the clerics of Iran. The Ayatollahs, the supreme leader, the mullahs, the puppet masters of the so-called Islamic Republic and their Sharia law. I have said this for years and years and years. If you don't understand this, you don't understand Iran. These are 12ers. They are followers of a branch of Shiite Islam that believes not just in the return of the messianic figure called the Mahdi, but...
He's criticizing them for waiting for a messianic figure. What do you think the Jews are doing, bro? He's like, they're waiting for a messianic figure. They're psychopaths. But he loves the Jews, as if they're not waiting for their messianic leader to come and rule the world. And they're willing to blow up the world to get it. Hypocrisy does not exist for these people. You're right.
Also, that his return can and must be, in their words, hastened or accelerated. And the only...
In their words, you mean the same word? Hasten the Messiah speedily in our days, like Chabad Lubavitch does. Hasten their word. They want to hasten the end times. Dude, you're a fucking Mormon? The Christian Zionists want to have an Antichrist in the third temple? And the Jews want to have their Messiah to rule the world after a global war. And you're going to sit out here and then project everything that you guys do on the Muslims. And I'm not saying it's not true. The Muslims do have their own versions of apocalyptic, messianic end times as well. But it's pot calling the kettle black here. You have no ground to stand on. You're just as loony and culpable in all of this as they are. Dude, think of how duplicitous these lies are when everything he's saying about Iran right now is even more true about the Jews in Israel and his Christian Zionist friends.
Also, that his return can and must be, in their words, hastened or accelerated.
What's up with this shirt with the skull and bones here? He's like, they're a death cult, and he's got a skull on his shirt.
And the only way to do that is to, quote, using their words, wash the world in blood. Okay, I think I'm out at that. You know, that's my first stop on the train, and I'm like, I'm going to...
Have you not read the Bible, you idiot? The Messiah is supposed to come and tread the winepress, and the blood fills the streets.
Warrior Soft Truth sent $5 on Rumble. Better a wolf of Odin than Lamb of God. Big support from the Kootenays.
Thank you, Warrior of Truth.
I'm going to get off here, please. Let me say this again. The highest religious leader who actually is in charge of the entire country, the one who commands the Revolutionary Guard, who fund the terror groups by Hezbollah and Hamas, the ones who train children to chant death to America in the streets, believe the world must be engulfed.
Look, he's just reading all of this.
In destruction and flames to usher in the end times.
Dude, total no self-awareness How is this? He could vet everything he just said in that last minute. Sounds like he's talking about the apocalyptic Jews in Chabad Lubavitch in Judaism. They want to hasten the end times with their Messiah. Oh my God, they're so evil. But I love the Jews so much. Like, I can't even believe this. This is the first I saw this clip.
Must be engulfed in destruction and flames to usher in the end times.
Dude, you believe in the end times, and all of the Jews over in Israel believe in the end times. This is sickening. Sickening.
You sent $3 the anti-Iran villainization, and propaganda reads like comic book villain nonsense. Like comically upset. You're incredible.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
No, we got another Christian Zionist here. Hold on. What do we? Another ultra Zio, Ted Cruz. Come on, Power Chat, load up. What did that last one say? The anti-Iran villainization and propaganda reads like a comic book villain nonsense. Comically absurd, right? Better a wolf than Odin. Yeah. Guess who doesn't worship a Jewish religion? Pagans. Guess who? What isn't a thing? Pagan Zionist. Warriors of Truth. Okay, let's hear Ted Cruz.
President Trump drew a very clear red line in the sand. He said on April 12th, he told Iran, you have 60 days to negotiate. I led a coalition of 52 Republican senators, and we all said we stand with President Trump. President Trump has been clear that the standard for any deal must be complete dismantlement, no centrifuges, no enrichments. There is no reason a theocratic lunatic who chants death to America should have nuclear weapons, the tools to murder millions of Americans or millions of Israelis.
Right.
On the 61st day, the Ayatollah publicly said he would not shut down a single centrifuge. He said he would build more centrifuges. He would make more enriched uranium in order to make more nuclear weapons. That was effectively, Maria, a giant middle finger at President Trump. But it was also a message to Israel, we're not going to stop. And if you don't act, you're going to find out when we've achieved success with a mushroom cloud in the skies of Tel Aviv or New York or Los Angeles.
Senator, do you...
That's the exact line they used for Saddam Hussein. Netanyahu in Congress says, if you don't act now and topple Saddam Hussein, it'll be a mushroom cloud over New York. They use the same line. I've seen this movie before. And the sad thing is because of our Christian Zionist America, they're going to fall for it. And it's going to work. Their old tricks still work. Their old false flags still work. Their religious propaganda still works.
Want to see regime change? Do you think that happens soon? And what would the future look like in that regard?
Look, I think it is very much in the interest of America to see regime change. I don't think there's any redeeming the Ayatollah. He is filled with hatred. I'll tell you a story that's a little bit amazing. The former head of the Iranian nuclear program, a man whom many say was sent to meet his maker by the Mossad, the Israeli intelligence forces. He had written in his last will and testament that he wanted the following words written on his tombstone.
Asylum 8 sent $5 on Rumble. This is the most obvious lie ever. Centrifuges for power plants are not dangerous at all.
Right. I know. Yeah, shut down all your power plants. Otherwise, we're gonna bomb you. Great. Yeah, they knew that too. The deal Trump was trying to do was dead on arrival. They were never gonna agree to that. That's why they put that in there. Actually, it's all been a lie.
Who sought to annihilate Israel. Maria, think of the level of bilious hate
Yeah.
When that's the only thing you want to be remembered for is I am such a bigot, such an anti-Semite, filled with so much hate that the entire purpose of my life is to murder as many Jews as possible. That's what we're dealing with, religious fanatics. So it is unquestionably in America's interest to see a secular regime. You know, before the revolution, Iran was a secular country that was an ally of America.
Didn't we help with that revolution? Or was it Mossad that helped with that Iranian revolution because the Shah was critical of Jews?
Your voice well, and I sent the picture and been using it for my vacuum news featuring Wilson. Hope that's okay.
You copied my voice with 11 Labs? I want to see what that sounds like. Who said that? Corn Pop the Bad Dude? Send me a link featuring Wilson. Hope that's okay. Send me a link. I want to see what you're doing, but I mean, copying my voice? I don't know about that. Let me see what you're doing with it. Send me a link or send me an email.
I think the people want to go back to that.
Okay.
Being the Ayatollah, he is filled with hatred.
Okay, we watched that one. Now, Pence, like all the big Zog shills, all the people that Trump had in his cabinet and Trump got along with, are all pushing for war.
Separate from the U.S. forces and the very real warning that President Trump has issued to Iran about the U.S., should the U.S. help Israel finish it off when it comes to Iran's nuclear capabilities?
Well, you know what's so deceptive too? None of the analysis of all these people talking about getting us in the war with Iran are mentioning anything about Russia and China having a defense pact with them. Iran, Russia, China are doing joint military exercises. Hold on. Defense treaty. The fact that they're just omitting that from the conversation. Come on. Move. I guess I have too many tabs open or all right. Strategic partnership, not a military alliance. 6 hours ago, role in the Israel will hold on. Iran, Russia, 20-year strategic cooperation agreements. New Russia-Iran treaty. Okay, this says it does not. What is that? Now they're claiming they're not having one. That's interesting. All I've ever seen is that they did. Let me look into this again and find the article I played the other day.
I think we need to make sure that Israel has the resources and the support they need, whatever shape that might take, to once and for all eliminate and destroy the nuclear enrichment program within Iran. It was early in this administration. Some of us had.
Okay, here we go. 4 weeks ago, out of Newsweek, Iran seals Russia defense pact as U.S. nuclear tensions rise. And we're already on the verge of war with Russia because of Ukraine as well. And none of them are talking about that at all. All of the analysis acts like Russia and China, like we're not already on the verge of war with Russia. That's how you know these guys are such sickos. They want it. That's why they're not talking about it. They want a big global war. So Jesus returns.
Concerns, I expressed them that the president's envoy and negotiators were talking about some limited enrichment program. I have held the view that others have, that there can be no nuclear enrichment program whatsoever. It needs to be dismantled or destroyed. Now, if the Iranians want to stand down, I think the president's made it clear he's willing to.
Telling a major country, former empire of Persia, that they can't have nuclear power is insane. That's what this is, too.
Enter into negotiations, but there can be no nuclear program of any kind, no enrichment program of any kind.
No power.
And at the end of the day, if Israel needs our help to ensure that the Iranian nuclear program is destroyed once and for all. The United States of America needs to be prepared to do it, because this is about protecting our most cherished ally. But remember, those
God's
missiles
people and our
that
most cherished ally
developed over the years can reach Europe today. They've been working on intercontinental ballistic missiles that could reach the United States. And
come on, they're not insane. If they were to try to nuke Europe, they would be destroyed so fast. Like, they're acting like mutually assured destruction isn't a thing. And nuclear deterrence isn't a thing. That's why they would want a missile or a nuclear bomb. So this would happen. The idea that Iran's just insane and they're going to just nuke America and New York and Europe, and like, they would be done. It would be over for them. Are they suicidal? Do they want their whole country blown up? No. So all of this is just bullshit. Look at where he's from. You got to be kidding me. Zionsville? Dude, we're all living in Zionsville. This motherfucker literally lives in Zionsville, coming to you from Zionsville. We're so zogged out. We're so
Iran
cooked.
is the leading
Zionsville?
$10.
Is this a joke? Is somebody at CNN trying to troll us? Zionsville? Wow.
Sponsor of terrorism.
Did he move there just because it's called Zionsville? Yeah. Is that a real place?
We simply cannot allow Iran to ever obtain a nuclear weapon. It threatens Israel. It threatens our allies. Threatens people of the United States.
Somebody clip that.
And we need to stand on that principle.
That's funny. Zionsville Community Schools. There's a Zionsville in Pennsylvania and a town in Indiana. Well, I'll be damned. This motherfucker lives in Zionsville. We're all in Zionsville, is what it feels like.
Separate
We're all
from
zogged out.
The U.S. forces and the...
Unbelievable. Coming to you from Zionsville. And Lindsey Graham, all... Oh, by the way, these are all Trump's guys, too. Trump's endorsed. Where's Mike Johnson? He's supposed to go speak at the Knesset soon. All of the people Trump was cool with, all his kosher buddies, are all out there on all the news pushing for war. But, oh, I'm sure, hey, guys, Trump is going to save us from World War III. Wait till I play you the clip of him in 2015. He was chosen by the Zionists for this war. It's 10 years ago, maybe even longer.
We live with if diplomacy is not successful and we live with the option of force, I would urge President Trump to go all in to make sure that when this operation is over, there's...
Yeah, what kind of simulation are we in? The Abraham Matrix, Zionsville simulation.
Nothing left standing in Iran regarding their nuclear program.
I'm a patriot. I live in Zionsville.
Provide bombs. If that means flying,
busting bombs,
whatever bombs. If it means flying with Israel, fly with Israel. The worst possible outcome for the world is to take the Iranian nuclear program on and leave it standing. Mm-hmm. That will be a disaster.
Senator Blumen.
If diplomacy is not successful, and we live.
You literally had a deal where you knew it would not be successful. They probably spent billions of dollars for their nuclear power plants. They're not going to shut them down to appease the Zionists. All right, Tom Cotton, remember, this is also one of Trump's boys. He was, I think he did nominate him, or he's got some high-level position in the Senate.
Because let's remember, the Iranian regime... Well, what the president said in his overnight post was a clear message to the Ayatollahs that if you hit America in any way, whether our troops or our citizens or our ships, for instance, then...
Zionsville, right next to Zogsville. Right next to Jerusalem.
You're going to feel the full force and strength of the U.S. military in a way no one's ever seen. That's a clear deterrent message, setting aside the threat that the nuclear program...
Brave New World. Say something stupid again and you're gone, buddy. It's not even Brave New World. It's Brave Jew World, actually. Sorry, I got that wrong.
Poses to Israel and to the United States, because let's remember, the Iranian regime has been terrorizing Americans. It's killed thousands of Americans. It's taken them hostage. It still chants death to America, and it's building missiles that can strike not just our troops or our friends in the region, but soon enough here in the United States as well. And that's why President Trump has been consistent for his 10 years in political life, that we cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. We cannot allow them to have a path to a nuclear weapon with uranium enrichment. That's the deal that he was trying to negotiate for the last 2 months. But as he said early last week, Iran was simply too stubborn.
Dude, this idea that like we're at a threat, Iran's going to nuke America is the stupidest thing ever. That would be suicidal. They might as well just nuke themselves. They're not going to do that. This is just a bold-faced lie. This is weapons of mass destruction all over again. We had the 40 beheaded babies. That's the babies in the incubators. And now we got weapons of mass destruction. They want to blow up the world.
They weren't willing to come to the table.
They want to hasten their Messiah. We gotta attack them.
Anonymous sent $3. Abrahamic means bloodthirsty. Desert tribe savagery and ghost stories have hijacked half the minds on this planet. It's hard to watch your shows all the way through, because of how sickening it is. How can you guys stand so much Judaic brain rot?
I can't stand it. That's why I do the videos.
And negotiate. And I have to disagree with the reporter who said that Israel strikes in Iran ended those negotiations. It was Iran's stubbornness that ended them. President Trump was clear about that, and he is still clear that there is time if they want to come back to negotiate an end to the uranium enrichment program, that he would accept that. But he's given them chance after chance, as he said.
As he said, was this not obvious that this was the narrative they were building the whole time? He gave him a chance. They didn't want to negotiate. They didn't want to make a deal. They're insane. You mean you basically you told them they have to give up all their power plants that they invested billions in, that keeps the lights on in Iran.
For peace, don't understand.
And let's say that they
Mark Levin. Trump appointed him to head of Homeland Security, one of the top positions. Of course, the Jewish Zionist pushing for war for Israel, because that's America first.
Find
right?
some document.
Oh, and Trump said, Trump said the other day, he's the one that came up with America first, so he decides what it means. If Israel first is America first, then that's what it means, goy.
With Iran right now. Would Israel be safer? Would the West be safer? Would the Arab countries in the Middle East be safer?
Yeah, we're all going to be safer. Funny how none of them are talking about how easily this could escalate into World War III. No analysis at all about them being allied with Russia and China. That's how you know, because they all know this too, and the fact that that's not even part of the conversation is the way that they're trying to lie by omission us into World War III. For their Zionist masters.
It look like they're.
No, Mark, no one would be safer. And I think President Trump put it well late last week in an interview when he says all these people who are calling for peace don't understand that it means Iran never having a nuclear weapon. If Iran has a nuclear weapon, there will not be peace. And in some ways, what you propose is really back to the future.
If Israel has a nuclear weapon, there cannot be peace. Could we just play this? So should we blow them up? They want to hasten their Messiah. They have a stolen nuclear weapon. They got the Samson option. They have prophecies of all their rabbis everywhere of wanting to destroy America. But no, we're on their side because our Christian politicians. Isn't that crazy? Everything they're saying about Iran is literally about them. Pure projection. Every accusation is a confession. We're being totally gaslighted here, guys.
Future. It's what we saw in 2015 and 2016 after the disastrous nuclear deal with Barack Obama and Iran. It's the mess that President Trump inherited. Iran was growing stronger. We had sent it hundreds of millions of dollars that it was using to fund terror groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and rebels in Yemen. They were still working on their...
Yeah, all that did a lot of good. All of that money that went to them, and Israel just blew them up, their leaders, blew them up with pagers, totally destroyed Gaza. Geez, a lot of help all that Iranian proxy shit did, right?
Vast nuclear infrastructure. They're still developing ballistic missiles. We see now where that missile program has taken them. They can target Israel. They can target our troops. Within a 3 years, they could probably target us here in the United States. Furthermore, they'd be able to target us not just with conventional warheads, but with nuclear warheads. And they're already, again, terrorizing America. They're shooting ballistic missiles in civilian neighborhoods in Israel, killing innocent women and children.
Oh, you mean like Israel's been doing in Gaza for the last 2 years? That was a blood libel to say they're killing children when they were tens of thousands. Now they're going to blame that on Iran and justify us getting into World War III.
Just imagine what they would do if they had the deterrent of a nuclear umbrella, and imagine what our friends in the Arab world would do as well. I don't think they
Thank you, Garrett.
$5 war is gay.
Weapon. So it would be much more dangerous world for the United States and for peace and stability throughout the Middle East.
I mean, if war was justified, it would be needed. But this is Zionist wars according to their prophecy plans. Okay, next. Hannity, every single one. Funny how all of conservative media are hardcore Zionist puppets. They're all like, we're patriots in America first, and hoorah. Free speech, America. And they're all wanting us to fucking go fight a war for Israel.
Ask yourself, as an American, ask yourself a simple question. How many missiles...
It's all the same people, too, that lied us into the Iraq war. And they're literally going to do it again. And we're going to fall for it. Not us, but, the country.
Would it take from a foreign country and their proxies that would be fired into the USA, into our...
Reporting from Shabostown, Mississippi.
Country, killing American citizens, terrorizing American citizens, before you would want that country stopped.
Coming from Noahide City.
What's your threshold? 2 missiles? 100
Alabama.
Missiles, 1,000? 10,000? What would you expect American leaders to do if this country, the #1 state sponsor of terror, was, according to reports, a month to 6 months away from arming themselves with a nuclear weapon, as they have been firing these tens of thousands of missiles throughout the years? Ask yourself, as an American, ask yourself a simple question. How many missiles would it take?
Tens of thousands of missiles throughout the years? What is he talking about? Did they ever shoot any missiles at Israel until after October 7th and the slaughter of Gaza? They sent a few to retaliate for their leader getting killed. It was basically symbolic, and they all got shut down. And then now they respond after Israel preemptively attacks because of this bullshit con job with this no nuclear power. He's just making shit up, huh? Right.
From a foreign country.
Torahtown, USA. Good one.
That would be fired into the USA, into our country.
Yeah, the boomers are just like, we got to bomb those Iranian terrorists.
You would want.
Hannity would never lie to me.
Stopped. Would it be 1 missile?
What are you, a commie liberal? You don't want to die for Netanyahu?
1,000, 10,000? What would you expect American leaders to do if this country, the #1 state sponsor of terror, was, according to reports, a month to 6 months away from arming themselves with a nuclear weapon, as they have been firing these tens of thousands of missiles throughout the years? Ask yourself, as an American.
Beyond parody. Maybe Israel shouldn't have attacked them first, you hack propagandist warmongers. Okay, new Hasbara dropped. Pretty Jewish girl. Let's hear what she has to say. What is her name? Deborah Lee.
What Israel did, which is target Iran's nuclear facility, and Israel's dragging us into World War III.
See, this is the effective propaganda.
I'm not dying for Israel. You half-wits do realize that if Iran was successful in creating a nuclear weapon and then used that nuclear weapon to attack Israel, that the United States would be obligated to respond both morally and strategically, right? So what Israel did, which is target Iran's nuclear facility and eliminate heads of the IRGC, that's actually preventing a broader war and a greater regional conflict from breaking out. Israel's doing...
Oh, yeah. War is peace, actually, Goy. Don't you know that? Why does she have the crumbled up Colosseum on her shirt? Is this like part of her symbolism of destroying Edom? Hey, Edom, you got to get in a war with Iran, okay? Right? Because that's gonna like bring peace, right?
What has to be done to keep a nuclear
Dyed hair, nose job.
Iran and a greater
She's still
conflict
pretty.
off
I'm
the
not gonna
table,
lie.
which prevents direct U.S. involvement and boots on the ground. This is deterrence in action, and it is buying the entire world more time. And not to mention that Israel has been fighting a war with Hamas for over 615 days, and not a single U.S. service member has been on the ground to fight. So stop the fear mongering and thank Israel for making.
Yeah, you didn't need us for Hamas. They're a little sliver of land that's been disarmed and starving, and yeah, you didn't need us. You actually did need us, really.
Entire world is
Chicks
safer
the filter.
place in preventing a nuclear war.
4D war horse, yes.
World War
Funny.
III. I'm not
Yeah,
dying.
I don't know about the Colosseum on her shirt. What that's supposed to mean? Yeah, she's Jewish. Obviously, did I not say that? Yeah. Let's not lie though and say that she's not hot. She's hot. Yossi Melman says the euphoria was short-lived. So who is this again? Israeli military affairs specialist says, I recommend that we cut our losses and turn to Trump to stop the madness with a reasonable agreement. Otherwise, we will end up begging for a ceasefire, and Iran will refuse. Oh, and I saw the head of Shin Bet resigned also. I didn't hear why. The euphoria was short-lived. I asked whether it was even necessary to start a war, especially against the Iranians. The Shiites are historically willing to suffer. I mentioned their willingness to sacrifice as they had demonstrated the 8 years of attrition with Iraq. I recommend, and now, yeah, they were enemies with Iraq, and the Zionists are saying, our soldiers died in Iraq, and that was Iran's fault. No, not Netanyahu's fault, who lied about what WMDs and told us to topple Saddam. I recommend that we cut our losses and turn to Trump to stop the madness with a reasonable agreement. Otherwise, we will end up begging for a ceasefire, and Iran will refuse. Is that true? So it's not going so well. Houthis is trending now. Holocaust is trending. Hell no. I'm sure hell no to get into the war.
But then Israel gets all the damage.
Here's an Israeli girl. Let's hear what she has to say. I'm guessing it's hypocrisy and crying out in pain as she strikes you and total lack of self-awareness. Haven't seen the clip yet, but that would be my bet. Let's see.
Why does it have to happen to us always? Why is it always the Jewish people?
Oy vey, why is it always us? You attacked them. You bombed them. How short is your goldfish memory? Always playing the victim.
Why does it have to happen to us always? Why is it always the Jewish people? We didn't do anything. It wasn't us. We really didn't do anything.
You just bombed them. You preemptively attacked. After this bullshit, they won't do negotiations and get rid of all of their power plants.
Critics of the Jewish state would say you guys started this war by attacking Iran about 48 hours ago.
No. We did not start. No. The Jewish people, Israel doesn't want to ever do a war. The entire world is really against Iran. I don't think anybody wants them to have nuclear weapons. So Israel's doing the job, and then Israel gets all the damage after it. Why does it have to happen to us always? Why is it...
People just like you and me. Oh, man, that is what I love about you, Kate. You've got a personality. You got a personality. That is rich.
People, the people.
Do a war. The entire world doesn't want to ever... Israel doesn't want to ever do a war. The entire world...
Yeah, Israel doesn't want war. I guess I've just been... Oh, what's the word? I've just been imagining all the rabbis fantasizing about an end times war. I've just been hallucinating all the rabbis for years, and the Zionists starting this war and wanting us to be in a war. I guess I'm just like a mentally ill anti-Semite to just come up with something like that.
Doesn't want to ever do a war. The entire world is really against Iran.
Cry out in pain as they strike you and didn't do nothing, right?
I don't think anybody wants them to have nuclear weapons. So Israel's doing the job, and then Israel gets all the damage after it.
They start it and expect us to clean up their mess. So noble. It was real in my mind. Wow. Does she really believe this? Like, is she lying to herself, or is she consciously lying to everybody else? Just a figment of your imagination.
Corn Pop the Bad Dude sent $5. My boomer stepdad who was sad Trump didn't get gun emoji sucks off Israel for the pager attack while knowing who funded Hamas. Fuck boomers. P.S. Posted link on your Twitter.
Okay, I'll check it. Thank you, Corn Pop. Okay, now here's the video I found. This was deep in my hard drives from 2015. Donald Trump on Fox News with Judge Jeanine. She's a defender of Zion, Zionist Organization of America award winner. She's the one that was on Fox News saying Trump is fulfilling biblical prophecy by moving the embassy. And this was her. This was before Trump announced in 2015. And look at what they say about Make America Great Again and in the Iran war. Dude, he was selected and chosen by the Zionists to be the guy to get us in this war with Iran 10 years ago. Jewish stereotypes are terrible. Should have played that one, huh? Oh, it's not playing. All right, here we go.
The man needs no introduction. An American business icon and my friend Donald Trump. Take a look.
Dude, you can see it's all scripted and planned out. This is before he announced. She knows he's running for president. Fox News knows he's running for president.
Sent $3
and they're already
for those of us who don't understand
doing the
region.
war.
What's your opinion on just green-lighting nukes for Iran?
No.
Might they provide a check to Israeli domination? Is Pakistan
It would've,
proof
yeah.
that Muslims can be responsible with nukes as a deterrent only?
They want them the same reason that Israel, or maybe not the same, why any country wants nukes is for a deterrent. The idea, the notion that Iran is going to get a nuke and then just like try to blow up America with it is retarded. That would be suicidal. They might, like I said, they might as well just nuke themselves. They wanted nuclear power and they wanted to keep the nuclear power. That's what it was. That's what the Obama-Iran deal had, and Trump came in and got elected. They talk about that, by the way, in this video. And the Zionists wanted him to rip it up. October says, my fellow Latinas. That's funny. Check this out. And this is going to make so much sense. 2015, before Trump announced he was going to run for president, look at what they talk about. This has all been planned.
The man needs no introduction. An American business icon and my friend Donald Trump. Take a look. You have been a harsh critic of President Obama, and there are a lot of different issues that I want to talk about. Number one, the economy. This president came in saying that he would resolve everything, and now he's making speeches about how great the economy is. Is the economy in good shape?
That's in very bad shape. I mean, we owe $17 trillion now. It just hit $18 trillion. Trillion, a word that you...
Aren't we at 40 trillion now? He got in office, and it went up like crazy, too. So this was all a bunch of bullshit also, right? It was at 17. What did it go up to, like 30 with Trump, right? Oh, and you suckers thought he was going to save America, huh? The savior is actually going to be the destroyer of America.
Never even heard like 5 years ago. So we're heavily in debt as a nation. We're doing everything for everybody. We're the policemen of the world. After we are the policemen, everyone takes advantage. You look at what happened with Iraq and all these other places. They crumble as soon as we leave.
And now we're doing the same thing in Iran, trying to police them that they can't have nuclear power, preemptively attacking them, calling for regime change. It's Iraq all over again.
You know, Donald, when you say we're the policemen of the world, I mean, the thing that comes to my mind is Christians are being butchered in the Middle East and in Iraq.
Like never before.
Like, it's a genocide, essentially.
Yeah,
we're going to save you, Christians.
And yet, our being the policemen of the world, we don't seem to be going to protect them. What's that about?
Well, we're the policemen, but our leader is not respected, and our country is no longer respected. So we're spending trillions of dollars on all of this stuff, but we're not a respected country.
What about the fact that, you know, as we continue these airstrikes, you know, you've got we're not stopping ISIS, and they're running in from Guantanamo back to the battlefield. It's almost as though he's replenishing the enemy in a time of war.
You know who loves the airstrikes more than anybody? Iran and Syria. Because basically, ISIS wants to take over Syria, and they probably could do it, but we're hurting them and setting them back. So Syria is our enemy, Iran is our enemy, And Iran and Syria, they love what we're doing because we're doing their work.
The president, for some reason, feels that he has to give some concession on the nuclear proliferation to Iran, when Iran should be in there themselves because they're Shias and Alawites who are against the Sunnis anyway.
Probably, maybe from the beginning, there has never been a greater enemy to Israel than Barack Obama. It's incredible the way he treats them, the way he's speaking to them.
This was how he's trying to get elected. Obama's such an anti-Semite. He's so anti-Israel. Alex Jones was saying the same type of shit, by the way. Because remember, and all he ever did was veto. He didn't vote. No, he didn't even veto. He abstained from voting at the UN on like a condemnation of illegal settlements. That's all he ever did.
I think he treats our known enemies much better.
Well, when you think about the fact that Susan Rice...
Obama basically gave Israel everything they wanted besides that.
Walked out of the UN when Netanyahu was about to give his speech, and the latest disaster where someone in the administration called him chicken. Why would they call him that?
Look, they don't like him and they don't like Israel. And that's what I say. I mean, I speak to friends of mine that are Jewish. I say, how are you supporting this man? He's the worst thing that has ever happened to Israel. Now, what's going to happen?
Remember, he said the same line over and over again about Kamala and Biden.
Is the way it's going, Iran will have a nuclear weapon. As soon as that happens, and it's very close, as soon as that happens, it's a whole new ballgame.
2015. This has all been planned. They got Trump in for this moment. Trump is the guy. He campaigned on saving us from World War III and no new wars. Was selected and chosen by the Zionists for this fucking war. And it's the same exact line, guys. 2015. Hadn't even announced yet, and here it is.
Worst thing that has ever happened to Israel. Now, what's going to happen is the way it's going, Iran will have a
Who was right, guys? Who's been right about Trump?
And it's very close. As soon as that happens, it's a whole new ballgame.
And where is the United States in that ballgame?
I don't think we have any idea what's going on. I think that the United States is so poorly run, especially as it concerns, I mean, look, everything's bad. Is there anything good? What's positive? But when you look at our relations with other countries, in history, it's never been like this. We've never had, not one country do we get along with anymore. And it's not like we don't get along because we're taking advantage. We don't get along and they're taking advantage of us.
You have very strong opinions on everything from the military and the economy and health care. 2016, I mean, there isn't really a front runner. What about Donald Trump?
We're going to see what happens. Look, people were talking about Mitt Romney. He ran, he lost.
We're going to see what happens. She says, you're the front runner. We're going to see what happens. In Iran and their nuke. Come on, dude. This whole thing. Pre-selected by the Zionists for this to happen.
He should have won. Something happened. He choked. I mean, the last month he was a disaster. I don't know what happened. And I support it.
It's been the Zionist plan all along.
I like him. But he shouldn't run, and I hope he doesn't. A Bush, I think we've had enough Bushes, to be honest with you. The Republicans need somebody great. And if they don't get it, we're going to have a problem in this country. Big problem.
Who's great that's out there?
Well, I'm not going to get involved with that yet, but we'll see what happens. But, you know, that'll be the next conversation. I mean, look, we have an election coming up. It's going to be an amazing election on Tuesday. I think the Republicans have a chance for the first time in a long time to take over the Senate. We'll see what happens, and it'll be very interesting. But it should happen. The numbers are getting better and better. It's very interesting. For a while they were pretty even, but they seem to be getting better. And after that, I mean, I'll make lots of decisions and maybe lots of choices.
Donald, you've been a successful businessman. I mean, you know how to market, you know how to build good buildings. And, you know, as you look forward in this country, how can you, Donald Trump, create more jobs?
Well, I love creating jobs. I just started 2 weeks ago the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, right next to the White House, between the White House and the Capitol. I'm doing Doral, 800 acres in the middle of Miami. It'll be the finest resort in the country. Lots of jobs. I do many things.
He was always a Zionist.
All over the world, actually, but in this country, I'm doing a
blackmailed, sold out, made man.
Our country.
By the way, Michael Collins Piper wrote a book in 2008, I believe, 2006. A whole chapter about how Trump was a Zionist frontman.
Country has tremendous potential, but we don't use it. And
look at this.
What we really have to do is make America great again.
Donald.
This was his first campaign pitch right here. We got to make America great again. And what did they talk about? Main thing? The war with Iran. Iran and nukes. This has been the plan all along, guys. Okay? Now, are you putting it together? You think this is an accident? You think this wasn't pre-planned? Okay? This Jeanine Pirro, who Trump just swore in as the top U.S. attorney.
Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy of the gods worshipped by Jews, Christians, and yes, Muslims, that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish state, and that the Jewish people finally deserve a righteous, free, and sovereign Israel. Donald Trump
there we go.
History.
See now? It's all the Zionist thing. Oh, ZOA award winner, huh? Oh, the Zionists had it planned all along with their boy Zion Don, huh? And no strike work. I never had a MAGA hat. You're bullshitting. I was exposing Trump as a Zionist before he took office. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. No, yeah, you guys can all sign, all the Trump shills, all the doubters. You can fill out your apology letters and send them to the P.O. box below in the description. It's happening. Okay. Let's see this one.
I asked.
Now let's get into the prophecy, how they're all fantasizing about this prophecy of the end times war.
The scary prophets that talked about what happens at the end of days. That when everything is going to come down, and ultimately the Jews are all going to move to Israel, and it's not that Jews there are going to be immune to any tragedy, but it's clear, and I checked it with different rabbis, that you'll be safer in Israel than anywhere else in the world. So I asked a very great rabbi, when do we go? We're doing work out here in North America, important work for the Jewish people. But are we supposed to be
you don't set for $1 good movie. Great production values.
Strike work. Yeah, I didn't like Hillary. I thought Hillary was crap. I didn't know much about Trump at that time. That was before the election, by the way. Before Trump took office, I had seen a Johnny Gat video. And who remembers this one? The song was I'm Not White, I'm Jewish. And it showed all of the Jewish backers and donors to Trump. And when I saw Trump on Alex Jones's show and he talked about the celebrating Palestinians on 9/11, also
waiting till the end and we shut off the lights when everybody else is gone? When do we get out? When is the right time to leave? Because you don't want to wait till the end. So he said, when they start killing Jews in the street, get out. So every time I hear of an incident, every time I hear of another tragedy, and every time I hear they're killing Jews in the street, my rabbi's words resonate with me. I'm hoping and praying that we will be able to return very soon. Of course, there are many factors.
You know, and in the Hillary parody video, I didn't even say anything about Trump in that, by the way.
And for those of you who are watching me from Israel, I know you're going to be replying and writing in. Then come now, Lori. Come on. I'm working on it. As my friend said, if you can't be there now, send them ahead.
They're excited about the world, the narrative of the world turning against them.
We too will follow. I hope this is not too apocalyptic to you. But
it is.
History is unfolding before our eyes. And we can't turn away. I'm Lori.
Okay, here's another one. Rabbi explains prophecy about war between America and Iran. I found this on my hard drive also. Let's see this one. Yo, guys, we're almost at 2 hours. We still got a ways to go for the goal. We have a huge show today. Big, almost 660 people watching on Rumble, 180 on Odysee, probably another couple hundred on Twitter. Let's make the goal so I can keep doing these streams, guys. I need your support. I got mouths to feed. You guys want to have shows every day? Show you want shows
White
every day.
Wizard
Yes, there we go.
sent
White Wizard.
$50. I grew up Christian and everyone I was around always said Jesus was a Jew. All the anti-Semitic tradcath and Christ cuckopers online saying he was white and that they don't actually worship a Jew is embarrassing. You're the only one right.
Thank you. Well, I'm not the only one. Everybody knows Jesus is a Jew. More like the online e-crusaders are the only ones that are wrong. And these idiots will say like, oh, the pagans, those neo-pagans and those Jews and Adam Green, they say Jesus is Jewish. That's Jewish propaganda. Every single church in the world knows Jesus is Jewish. Every scholar, every Muslim, or actually the Muslims try to claim, they cope too and say he's Muslim. But every Jew knows he's Jewish. Every Christian church knows he's Jewish. Every scholar knows he's Jewish. Everybody knows he's Jewish, but these lying copers on the internet.
The Talmud tells us that there are two nations, that Moshayu, that their dominion in the world will continue forever and ever, that even in Achros Hayomim, in the end of days, these two nations will be paramount.
Yeah, remember I had the Trump, like one of my first viral videos was called Trump Bankster's Paradise, all about how Trump was in with all the Zionists.
Other nations will not have any regard, really. And one of those two nations says Paras, Persia, and Edom. Edom, says the Ben Ishchai, is America. Persia, we all know, is Iran.
America and Iran, they're going to destroy each other.
Why do they call themselves Iran? Because they believed in the Aryan. Aryan means pure blood, like the Nazis.
Oh,
They're
the Nazis.
dangerous.
Only the Jews got the pure chosen seed. Only the chosen people, the apple of God's eye. Dude, this guy is killing me. Listen to him talk about the Nazis.
Call themselves Iran because they believed in the Aryan. Aryan means pure blood, like the Nazis. They're dangerous. Take their threat seriously. The Gemara tells us that Ba'achros Hayomim and the days will be over.
Take their threat seriously. They show a little bottle rocket. They show a little like amateur hobbyist little rocket.
Threat seriously. The Gemara tells us that Ba'achros Hayomim and the days will be a war like no other war. And who will be the perpetrators? Who will terrorize the world?
The Jews?
The Jewish people? Persia, Iran.
The instigators?
Says the Heilige Rabbi Sinai B'Shetz and Yaris Devash in the Drush. That many times the Jews thought that Mashiach is coming. It could have been. He says, but the number one way to know, to discern, and to deduce, and to infer that Mashiach is on the way is that there has to be a war with Iran.
Thank you, Thor's Rune.
$5 on Rumble. Rabbi Fingerer giving us the wagging finger there. Living up to his name there.
What's his name?
Stereotyping Jews is terrible.
That's what comes to mind when I hear this rabbi talk.
Say, Asfu v'agidu lachem Achros Hayomim. You want Achros Hayomim? Says the Heilige Zohar. Says Arizal. Hey, Asfu
Pop the Bad Dude sent $5. Heard you were looking for a female co-host.
Thank you, Hillary.
If I take a few rounds of estrogens,
No.
throw on some tits, a wig, can I apply for the position?
That's disgusting, and I feel like banning you after saying something so gross. But no, I thought that could be good. I'm just really want to help get the message out there, and I think it would be cool to have like a Viking princess co-host sometimes to try to get more people to watch. You know, but I don't know of any based Viking princesses out there.
Gather together, hey, us will unite. When Klal Yisrael unite, when we really care about one another, when we care about the abandoned Jew, the disenfranchised Jew, the disconnected Jew, the unaffiliated Jew. Agidu lachem, says the Heilige Rebbe. Agida means aguda. When we unite together as one aguda, lashon migadim, lashon sweetness, we really care about our fellow Jews, even the forsaken ones, to bring them back. That brings Achros Hayomim. If you want to see them healed, we have to encourage this. The Heilige Tzaddik Rabbi Levin, who was the Shver of Rabbi Yashiv, One time he saw a secular soldier, and he said to the soldier,
Okay, the music, I can't handle this
and he
music.
said, come into my house, maybe you're hungry. And the soldier said, I don't understand why you're talking to me. He says, I don't even have a kippah, I don't have a yarmulke. And Vari 11 said, listen to me.
I can barely handle the last
Very
20
short
seconds.
man. He says, I can't see your head. I can't tell if you're a yarmulke or not. All I can see is your heart, and you have a beautiful heart. Why are we looking at people's heads?
Who cares if a Jew has a yarmulke?
You really have to care about a fellow being? From, non-from, all types.
So much nepotism. His name is Rabbi Fingering. Where is it?
The Gemara by Desire.
Rabbi Yitzhak Fingerer. Uh-oh. Rabbi Fingerer giving us the wagging finger, living up to his name. Wow, what a name. Fingerer. Fingerer. What's he at the movies in middle school?
Hey, did you finger her?
Busimi 1949 sent $5 on Rumble. The power chat link didn't work for me, so I'll just say this here. $5 Goy Shiach challenge.
Thank you, Dave Busimi. Thank you so much. And huge shout out to White Wizard for the big 50 donation. You guys are amazing. We made the goal, I think.
They're nice.
I believe so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, baby. Huge show today. You guys are awesome. Rabbi Yitzhak Fingerer. Yitzhak. That's funny. Yitzhak Fingerer. Cornholio. Okay. Here, more prophecy. Let's check out Ashley Hayes. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. This world is a movie and you are being lied to. Yeah, and you're the one doing the lying, sweetie.
Whistler 40 sent $5. You should cover Match Group owning all dating apps.
Never heard of 'em.
Spencer Raskoff, former Palantir board member. Selective breeding program.
Match Group? Is that like J-Date or something? Okay, I love how this girl's like, you're watching a movie? Yeah, it's a Jewish movie. And they're lying to you. You're doing the lying. There are no words to describe the witness prophecy unfolding is beyond incredible. God is in control. Hashem, Yahweh's in control. God wins. Let's hear it.
What we are all watching unfold in the Middle East right now is the beginning of birth pains. We are watching the setup for World War III, for the Ezekiel 38-39 war, the same war that we read about as the second seal in the book of Revelation. These are the anticipatory events that will lead us into a 7-year peace treaty, a one world system under the rule of the Antichrist.
Dude, they look at her when she says the Antichrist. They like hate the Antichrist, but they love the Antichrist. You can't have Jesus without the Antichrist. She's a pre-tribber and a flat earther. I'm not surprised.
Of the Antichrist. We can now see the beginning of the end. So if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, now would be a great time to seek him out. Now the Bible tells us that at some point all of this will escalate. This will take a serious turn and we will see Russia, Turkey, Syria, and a few others aid Iran in surrounding.
Yeah, she could Gog on Magog, right guys? Right? Gog on Magog any day.
Israel, but God will use it for his glory. This is Ezekiel 38.
Cool with the anti-Semitic remarks.
About World War III. Now here in verse 16, he's talking to the leader of Russia, who is Gog. He said,
Guter Gamarong, as Alex called it. That's right. That's so funny. Guter Gamarong.
As you will advance against my people Israel like a cloud that covers the land. In the days to come, Gog, I will bring you against my land, so that the nations may know me when I am proved holy through you before their eyes. All these nations are eventually going to unite and they are going to aid Iran. They are going to surround Israel, and it will look like an ant going up against Goliath. It will look impossible, but that is the point, because God is going to step in and he is going to aid Israel. He is going to make them triumphant and he is going to defeat all their enemies.
God is going to save Israel and destroy all the Goyim. And the Christian girl claps. Yay! God wins.
God is going to use this war to bring glory and recognition to his name. He is going to use this war to bring Israel to their knees, to bring Israel to repentance. This war will have a supernatural ending and the entire world will witness it. Ezekiel 39:7 says, I will make known my holy...
There's no daylight between her and the rabbis, by the way, on this. They say the exact same thing.
name among my people Israel. I will no longer let my holy name be profaned, and the nations will know that I, the Lord, am the Holy One in Israel. The tribulation kicks off with the Antichrist and with World War III.
Kosher
and
Christians.
Right now, we are
Dude, do you see how happy she sounds when she says World War III?
watching the major players take their positions. The upcoming tribulation is God returning his focus to an unrepentant Israel. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble. That's why here in Matthew 23, Jesus says, "For I tell you, you will not see me again. I will not return until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Jesus will not return until the Jews recognize him as the Messiah. And he will use the tribulation. He will use every event in the tribulation to bring them to their knees, to bring them to repentance, to open their eyes to the fact that he has always been and will always be their Messiah. To say that these are exciting times is an understatement.
He's their Messiah.
We are watching pages.
Jews, you gotta believe in the Messiah that's meant to conquer all the Goyim.
Of the
Fighting over who the Messiah is. So kosher.
Bible come to life right in front of our eyes. Words written thousands of years ago by the Spirit of God are playing out in real time, and it only means one thing. We are about to stand face to face with the one who laid down his life for us. All of this only means that Jesus Christ is coming back.
Dude, so happy about the apocalypse and the Antichrist and the Third Temple and the end times wars. Thanks, Christians. Yes, Christians, this is your fault. You're the one LARPing along with the Jews in these Jewish fairy tales.
This prophecy is how they enslave us.
Help me, Jewish God. Look, there's Paper Jesus. Yep. Help me, Jewish God. I'll do that one for Paper Jesus.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
Watching.
Look, Satan Yahoo is trending now. They should call him Yahweh Yahoo. Okay, by the way, I mentioned this earlier. ADL tweeted out on June 10th, 613 is the number of mitzvahs in the Torah. It's also the number of days since 10/7. And then a few days later, 3 days later, Israel attacks Iran and launches Gog and Magog on 6/13. They could have attacked on any day. They also had the parade. Or no, I think that was the next day. That was 6/14. They could have attacked on any day, and they choose the 613th day, and ADL's tweeting about it. Israeli lobbyist calls for a false flag against Iran. Of course they would do this.
Crisis initiation is...
Crisis initiation. And this is, where was it? His name... I think Grok was wrong about this. No, Dennis Ross, 2012. Somebody else put it here. Where was it? Grok was way off. Patrick Clausen, 2012. Okay, let's go here. He says a false flag to get us in a war with Iran.
I frankly think that crisis initiation is really tough. And it's very hard for me to see how the United States president can get us to war with Iran. Which leads me to conclude that if, in fact, compromise is not coming, that the traditional way of America gets to war is what would be best for U.S. interests. Some people might think that Mr. Roosevelt wanted to get us into World War II, as David mentioned. You may recall we had to wait for Pearl Harbor. Some people might think Mr. Wilson wanted to get us into World War I. You may recall he had to wait for the Lusitania episode. Some people might think that Mr. Johnson wanted to send troops to Vietnam. You may recall we had to wait for the Gulf of Tonkin episode. We didn't go to war with Spain until the until the Maine exploded. And may I point out that Mr. Lincoln did not feel he could call out the Federal Army until Fort Sumter was attacked, which is why he ordered the commander at Fort Sumter to do exactly that thing which the South Carolinians had said would cause an attack. So if, in fact, the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if somebody else started the war. One can combine other means of pressure with sanctions. I mentioned that explosion on August 17th. We could step up the pressure. I mean, look, people, Iranian submarines periodically go down. Someday one of them might not come up. Who would know why?
Applying pressure, like how Trump assassinated, was his name Soleimani?
We can do a variety of things if we wish to increase the pressure. I'm not advocating that, but I'm just suggesting that this is not a either-or proposition. Of, it's just sanctions has to succeed or other things. We are in the game of using covert means against the Iranians. We could get nastier at that.
Yeah, we know all about how the Zionists will use covert means to get us into this war. Rabbi Shmuley and Trump's top donor, Sheldon Adelson, discussed dropping an atomic bomb on Iran in 2013.
I think it's the worst negotiating ploy tactic anybody could imagine.
Right, so you would support negotiations with Iran currently so long as they first seized all enrichment of uranium?
No. What do you mean support negotiation? What are we going to negotiate about? What I would say is...
See, they don't want to negotiate. The whole negotiation was a fraud. 2013, they're already talking about the enrichment which they need for their nuclear power plants and not wanting to negotiate. Trump's top donor, who says all he cares about is being a good Zionist and a good citizen of Israel.
Listen, you see that desert out there? I want to show you something. So you pick up your cell phone, even at traveling rates. You pick up your cell phone, and what do they call them?
Roaming charges.
Roaming charges. You pick up your cell phone and you call somewhere in Nebraska and you say, "Okay, let it go." So there's an atomic weapon goes over ballistic missiles in the middle of the desert that doesn't hurt a soul. Maybe a couple of rattlesnakes and scorpions or whatever. And then you say, see, the next one is in the middle of Tehran. So we mean business. You want to be wiped out? Go ahead and take a tough position and continue with your nuclear development. You want to be peaceful? Just reverse it all, and we will guarantee you that you can have a nuclear power plant for electricity purposes.
So a tremendous demonstration of American strength, so that they would get the
The
message.
only thing they understand.
And do you see the current negotiations as a demonstration of weakness?
Absolutely.
Okay, Brett.
Well, I was just going to say that the advice that...
First of all, do you agree with what Sheldon said?
98%.
Is this payback for what he said about your column?
I don't know. Your interpretation.
What's his name? He's the Jewish New York Times writer, right? Brett Stevens? No.
Rouhani was caught on tape.
What's his name? So that's 2013. Adelson, U.S. should drop atomic bomb on Iran.
Weapons, but the very... Why should the world tolerate you having nuclear weapons and not, say, Iran?
He's Israeli.
First, again, we never admitted to have such weapons. But the very comparison is, I must say, it's very insulting, and I tell you why. We suffered one Holocaust. We listened to our neighbors. Is it because of the Holocaust that you should be allowed to have nuclear weapons? You know what? This interview was finished now. Your attitude is so hostile, and your questions are so arrogant. I don't want to speak with you anymore. Why should the...
So they're allowed to have stolen nukes, but Iran can't try to have them. And we're supposed to trust them when they won't even admit they have them, and we know about the Samsung option. But Iran can't even have power plants. Psychos. Rules for thee, but not for thee. All right. Show's gone on too long. I'm gonna pick up, maybe do a show tonight, and finish off the rest of this stuff because I gotta go take my daughter somewhere right now. I'm getting texts. I'll cover the protest I went to and some of this Christian stuff, and we'll just leave it just on the Iran stuff today. But there's still some more stuff to cover, so appreciate everybody for the support. Huge show. I really hope that they don't get us dragged in, but it looks like it's already a done deal, honestly. This has all been pre-planned. They're following their script. They got their agents in place. No matter how many people online are complaining about it, the time to complain was 2020 or 2024 before Trump got in. I warned you Trump was going to get in and get us in this war. Everything is unfolding exactly like I warned. People didn't want to listen. The Christians wanted to cope and lie and seethe and slander and blacklist. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. So remember, I'm going to stream tonight and finish off what I didn't finish tomorrow with Devin Stack. We're going to be talking about all of this. That'll be 2 p.m. on Tuesday with Devin Stack Blackpilled. I love you all. Thanks all everybody for the support. Everybody have a nice night. Share the link, clip the show, give it a like, subscribe to our link below, support the channel. The t-shirts, knowmorenews.org for the t-shirts. Thank you, Busimi. Got us to hit the goal for sure.
1949 sent $5 on Rumble. 5 for the goal.
Thank you. Met the goal. Huge show today. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you again very soon. Take care.